Woman who refused to get the COVID vaccine just got like $12 million. Lady accused of reporting peanut didn't report peanut. Life ruined. Woman marries a man who sustained a concussion and forgot that they broke up. German butcher is selling raccoon sausages. All this and more on today's episode of The Talk Down.
Don't read too much into it. This is just how we talk. This is The Talk Down.
I'm Ethan Nicolle, and it's a little different right now. The complete show has changed. If you're watching, if you're listening, it might sound just like us talking like usual.
Except you hear my voice.
And you're closer to the mic. Yeah, you're not.
My name is Matthew.
Matthew's on here. Yeah. And so Adam, we realized just moments before the show.
Yeah.
And when I'm like, where's Adam? He's not showing up at the sports bar we usually meet up at. He's like, I'm still on a cruise. I forgot the whole reason I had booked Kellen Erskine to come on tonight.
And we
because
missed
Adam
out.
was going to be gone.
I was looking forward to that. I thought we were going to have 3 seats.
Kellen bumped it a week. And I was like, okay, yeah, we'll do Kellen next week. It was just me and Adam this week.
Yeah.
And then it never dawned on me that Adam was going to be on for 2 weeks. So we had Trevor last week. It was supposed to be Kellen. Anyway, me and Matt were deciding, should we even do the show?
Yeah, what are we going to do?
And we go, we'll do it in the control room.
Yeah.
Matt will be on the show because you guys, you hear him laughing all the time. You guys have probably known him from either he's been on Audio Mullet. He's been on the Babylon Bee podcast.
Yeah, I was there.
Big time behind the scenes.
A couple times, yeah.
And he's the behind the scenes guy here, so we're going to have a Matt episode.
Yeah, let's do a show.
Matt Stravaganza.
Yeah. So there's this thing that I've always told myself working with Ethan that I'm working in the midst of greats. I have Adam and I have you and back at the Bee, and it was just repeatedly, I was reminded how not funny I am. So that's the real question today is whether or not I'm actually funny.
But you're genuine. That's what people want to hear.
I'm sincere.
So how was your week? Anything cool happened this week?
No. Well, do you have anything lined up for your weekly catch-up?
So I one day got the idea that, because I don't know if you're like me, I have oral fixation. I think that's what you like. I'm in a cigar. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I like having snacks in my man cave, but they're dangerous. And I started getting into sunflower seeds.
Yeah?
Because you have to work on them, and it's just a teeny bit of food over time, and you're just kind of like slowly grinding away at them. And I discovered the Chinese, there's a new Chinese market that opened up in town, and I find the Chinese people make these like really funky, they're like all smoothed out. I don't know if it's a different sunflower, but like the black parts, it's all smooth and shiny. I gave you a couple. Yeah. They're like, if you really, it's like there's like black licorice and vanilla flavoring in there, like tea. They're kind of a sweet, and they're really crunchy, and the seeds are really big rather than like the little crappy tiny ones. And like the ones that in America, like all dusty and like.
Yeah, they are dusty.
They're dusty, right?
Yeah.
Like I always thought it feels like a crunchy dead bug. Oh, like the shell. I don't know, there's something gross about it, but I don't know.
But no, these were delicious. They really were surprising.
Good. They're really snappy and poppy. Yeah. So anyway, go to a Chinese supermarket and look for the sun. They're called guazi.
Okay, I thought this was going to turn into like a big pile of like sunflower seed husks in your man cave.
It is already.
That was dangerous.
Having to fight it back.
What's the dangerous part?
Just
they're delicious.
Well, and they get everywhere. Like I try my hardest to put them in a little can that I dump in a garbage can, and like there's just I don't want to be one of those guys that where he's been because there's sunflower seeds husks there. Yeah,
I just had a similar story, and I was with a couple of friends. We were on my patio. We were smoking cigars, and we were watching the Joe Rogan Experience, watching Trump. And all of a sudden, I realized all 3 of us were sitting there like old men eating pistachios, breaking them up, and just like the oral thing, smoking a cigar, breaking up our pistachios.
Yeah, that satisfying snap.
So I don't know at what point I became an old man, but I think that's a quintessential old man thing. I was not into nuts, and now, no homo. I
forgot
pistachios.
In Chinese, pistachio is called like kaixin something that means seed. I can't remember the third word, but kaixin means happy because they look like they're smiling.
Which part? Oh, the
shell. Where the shell's like a Pac-Man smiling.
Until you rip their face off.
Yeah, dislocate their jaw.
Yeah, and you take
King
out
Kong.
Take out
like King Kong with the T-Rex.
Yeah. That's
every time. I think that's why men like them.
If Chesterton were eating pistachios, I'm sure that's the image he would have. The jaws of the pistachio being ripped. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna dive in. We're gonna talk down. Ready to talk it down?
Let's do it.
Jury awards record $12.6 million to woman fired for refusing the COVID vaccine.
Ta-da. Congratulations.
So, good job sticking to your guns on that one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that could have made that money maybe if they had stuck their guns.
That's more profitable than going to a Pennsylvania Musk rally.
Lisa Domsky, who worked more like Smartsky, was working there for at Blue Cross Blue Shield for more than 30 years as an IT specialist. She got $10 million in punitive damages, about $1.7 million in lost wages, $1 million in other damages. She's a Catholic, claimed religious discrimination when her request for exemption from the vaccine was denied. That's crazy, right?
Vindication.
Yeah.
Their vindication.
So she's refused to ever take it, and they're like, all right, you're fired, you lost your job, and then she sued, and that's cool.
That's a success story. You don't get a lot of those.
Yeah.
Where did
I
this
wish my
take
wife
place?
I don't know. I guess my wife went there because she kept, they let her work, but she had to go through all the hoops and stuff. And
But she got an
she had to
exemption.
constantly get tests constantly. And yeah, she got an exemption from a doctor we found. And kind of on the same note, another story about people getting awarded millions of dollars. Jury awards Abu Ghraib detainees $42 million, holds contractor responsible. So a U.S. jury awarded $42 million to the 3 former detainees at Abu Ghraib. And that's like, how long ago? Like 20 years ago that this happened? Each one receives $3 million in damages, $11 million in punitive damages. Anyway, it's just wild to me that, and also, I don't know if this would happen in the other way around.
What is this? Abu
Ghraib.
Ghraib.
Remember all the photos of the tortured prisoners?
Where?
They're more being humiliated. I mean, they were being like,
in Iraq. Oh,
they made them do like human pyramids, and
so
they were like shocking their testicles, I think.
American military were torturing these guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had a bunch. They basically, I'm horrible at news. My understanding is they had kind of scooped up a bunch of Arab guys.
Okay.
A lot of them they knew had ties to terrorism, but some they weren't so sure, and probably maybe didn't.
Holds contractor responsible, not the military.
Oh, right. So
Okay,
contractor.
good. Okay,
So,
so-
it was whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just find it fascinating. These guys, they're getting
They're getting
it's a long
paid.
time ago,
They're getting
and
paid.
they're getting paid.
How have you been wronged? Who owes you money?
I know. I got to find
Yeah.
something because, man, I was wondering how much that goes to the lawyer because the lawyer already
That's
probably
true.
racked up tons of money, and then
60%
they get a
fees or
huge
something.
chunk, yeah.
80%.
Anyway, moving on to this. We're moving fast today.
How's this going, Ethan? I don't know. People are going to be commenting. Do we have chemistry? I don't
I don't know.
I
yet.
don't know, man.
We're
This is
figuring it
kinda
out. We're
sour.
figuring it out as we go
I feel let's see.
because I'm also picking stories that I don't know anything about. I'm like,
Who is this?
Adam will know about this.
Who is this Abu you talk about? Yeah,
You don't know Abu Ghraib?
I meant.
That's the
Are you
famous-
bringing this up again? No.
The famous
I don't.
prison. There's a massive story.
This is why
about-
I'm not at the desk because my brain. Yeah, well, Adam is a bit of a treasure trove of knowledge.
Yeah,
isn't
he knows a lot. Well, he
Yeah.
also follows the news really.
Oh, that's true.
because he
He
writes
cancels it,
So,
or he writes about it being canceled.
You know about Peanut the squirrel.
Was that recent? Yes, I know about Peanut. Yes, Peanut. Oh yeah. So you got news.
So did you hear how someone would like put this lady's picture all over him? Was like, this Monica Kiesler, she's the one who called the authorities on Peanut. Turns out not true at all. After she got completely mobbed and attacked, I think they went after her like her place of business, and so
and she did not call it in.
no, she had apparently.
Oh man. So she got canceled, and
She
she
look
shouldn't
more into
have
this.
been. What?
She speaks out. It's been harrowing, she says. Oh man, yeah, I feel bad for her when I saw this because I don't know if you've ever experienced like a true cancellation. I've had like, I mean, I think well, we'll talk about Tony Hinchliffe later. I got him in there.
Oh, I like Tony. This is
but
a
I'm
good story.
fascinated that he chose to record the day after
Yeah. No, I just saw the
because
opening.
it just went up.
Yeah. So I look forward to that.
But I know on some scale what he's going through, only in the sense that I've been canceled to the point before where like
What happened?
every time I look at my phone without Audio Mullet
Oh,
and another time with Comicscape people,
okay.
every time I look at my phone, there's like 20 or 30 new tweets.
Mm.
And I'm looking every few minutes,
This is
and they're
a while
all
ago. This
hating
is
me,
not
hating on
still.
me, and who knows where it's going to go and what's
Okay.
going to. No, as it's a day. It's always happens like it's a day or two and then it goes away.
Okay.
But that day or two, which for him it became a news cycle, so it was like a full week or two.
Yeah. Big news.
It really
So, but
escalated.
this gal got caught up in the crosshairs for
Yeah.
being the instigator that got Peanut killed.
She became the most hated woman on the internet after social media users accused her of reporting Peanut the squirrel. She finally broke her silence in a podcast interview, addressing the hateful comments, including one that said she should be beheaded in front of her children.
That's gruesome.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Gotta love the people of the internet. They don't hold back.
But she got vindicated.
So it's out there, but the thing is, like, this isn't... So tell people, Monica is innocent. It says the Monica Kiesler situation got more out of hand. While some people were realizing there was zero evidence of her post, someone made a fake TikTok with this post in California Girls in the... 3 hours ago is being used as evidence. Somebody created fake evidence.
Ah, nasty.
Wow. Huh. All right. Well, I should have read more before, but...
Nevertheless, another story of vindication.
So yeah, pass it on. Monica is innocent.
And Monica is innocent. She's not the one who murdered poor Peanut.
This was sent in by our people on the Discord. Woman marries man who sustained a concussion and forgot they broke up 7 months earlier. The day after a woman dumped her boyfriend, he sustained a concussion and forgot that they broke up. 7 months later, they tied the knot.
Who's the winner here?
I don't know, it's weird. Like, I don't know if she got second thoughts and decided...
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's meant to be.
Jenna and Mitchell Brotherson got married on September 4th in Draper, Utah. 7 months before they wed, Jenna broke up with him. But then he sustained a concussion the next day and didn't remember they broke up. When Jenna asked to get back together with Mitchell the month after the ski accident, she realized he had no clue that they weren't together. That just seems like a normal guy. You just really forgot about the conversation.
Wow. Wait a minute.
So you've forgotten something really dumb with your wife?
Our anniversary.
You forgot. Oh, wow.
Well, I get a little dyslexic because it's January 6th, 2007. So sometimes I think it's January 7th,
Nice.
2006.
You guys got married on January 6th?
Oh, yeah. They ruined my anniversary. I was
Or made
outside
it better.
watching the news the entire day, just completely distracted, afraid for America. And it was also my anniversary.
Mine's stressful because we got married on Mother's Day.
Okay.
So every year around Mother's Day, I have double pressure to deliver on a gift because it's Mother's Day and it's our anniversary.
Got a double whammy.
Yep.
Got to deliver.
So good for them. Pray that
Yeah.
good. He's doing good. Looks like he's fine. Got a neck brace there.
All meant
And
to
a
be.
wife. Neck brace and a wife. What more do you need in life? This was also sent in our Discord, which is great because it's about monkeys. Did 43 monkeys escape from a research lab? Here's what to know.
Yeah, what's
That's when they let you know, like, this is what you need to know.
sounds like a movie, Outbreak, you know? Monkey Zero or whatever, patient. Yeah.
As far as I can tell, there's just a bunch of monkeys loose. And but they just keep saying, don't worry about it.
No, they were from like some research lab.
Yeah, it's a research lab, but they're like, don't worry. They're not full of diseases. They're too young.
They're too young. Still rip your face off.
They're working on enticing them with food, it says. So that I imagine they're just walking around thinking that maybe they're around here and they're just going like,
they got holding a banana out.
no,
Yeah.
I don't know. He get them to know.
Here, monkey.
Monkey. Enticing. I don't know. It's like, I love the word enticing, like attracting. I don't know. But yeah, so they said they're skittish. Don't mess with them, but they're out there. The monkeys are out
On the East Coast, right?
Apparently, this is Pennsylvanians. They're having a bit of deja vu.
Oh no! Someone call Adam's family.
I guess a similar incident happened in the Keystone State. Is that Pennsylvania? The Keystone State. In 2022, nearly 100 lab monkeys escaped after surviving an accident near Daneville, Montour County. So they got a lot of these monkey incidents going on in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. There's the monkeys running down the street.
It reminds me of Planet of the Apes. You know, Caesar and his buddies are out,
just like going all Antifa and everything.
Yeah,
Monkey Chaz, creating Monkey Chaz.
Monkey Chaz. That's a good video game.
So what's next? What are we talking down?
What are we talking?
Oh, a little marine biology.
Okay.
Octopuses seen hunting together with fish in rare video and punching fish that don't cooperate. And then if you watch the video, they actually do it. They like curl up their fist, all like a curled up fist, like they just bop fish.
Now they're eating the fish, or they're just having fun.
They team up with them. They go out in these little groups, like pods, like like the octopus is hanging out with all these fish, and they're hunting together, getting food together. And when one of the fish starts slacking off, the octopus just smacks it, like get going to work.
Okay. They're just
At least according to the scientists, which I always wonder how scientists understand the will of animals or like the desires of them. Like, how do they know why they do it? What if the octopus just likes punching fish? I don't know.
kind of fish battery.
Like you can surmise what you think they're doing or why, but you don't really know why, right? You can't get in their brain.
You know?
Not till Elon Musk creates Neuralink for octopuses.
And or AI, you know, there's this idea AI is made on large language models, and I don't know. I think you can apply that to like dolphins.
Well, I've heard they think that it can like decipher what they're saying,
learning the language, breaking down the, you know. And I wonder what an octopus is thinking.
They're all saying Jesus is real.
Yeah. Yes, they're worshiping Jesus.
What would they do if
and beating fish?
Oh, here's the summary. I liked this summary. A new study found that some members of an octopus species hunt cooperatively in groups with fish. Video shows octopuses punching their companion fish. So they're friends. They just punch them to keep them on task and contribute to the hunt. The findings indicate that some octopuses have richer social lives than scientists previously understood.
They're more like border collies of the sea. They're like shepherding.
Pretty rich social lives.
Yeah, they're shepherding the fish.
Like,
you know,
we thought they just hung out at home and
we got a mission.
Yeah,
so
scrolled through Reddit.
Maybe punching is too violent of a term. Maybe it's more like corralling. You know,
bopping. No, it's a clear punch. Have you watched the video?
Oh shoot!
They curl it up and it goes bop like this. It's a full on punch. All right. So moving on from octopuses to raccoons.
Raccoons.
Speaking of long squiggly things, let's talk about sausages.
No.
German butcher sells raccoon sausages in bid to combat rodent plague.
No.
So I'm guessing they're calling raccoons rodents. I never thought. Are raccoons rodents?
Somebody claimed that are rabbits rodents? Yeah, I think rabbits are technically rodents.
I don't think they are.
Are they too big?
This up. I'm going to ChatGPT right now, the authority on all things.
But this guy's making sausage out of raccoons.
Yeah, because I guess there's so many. He's killed them so many. He's like, we should eat these.
Okay.
Are raccoons rodents? No, no raccoons aren't rodents. They belong to the order Carnivora.
Oh.
Rodents are like, mice, squirrels, rats. Oh, beavers are rodents. I think the big buck teeth make you a rodent partly. Yeah, beavers are a big rodent, but they got like those other ones. Nutria. I think those ones are weird.
Nutria. Yeah. I don't know that mammal.
They're kind of like a weird, freaky meth beaver. This German butcher, his name is Michael Reese, a sausage seller in Saxony, said the sales of raccoon-filled product are soaring. 46 years old, he is. He first presented the product at the International Green Week, the world's largest Green Week. I thought you would think Green Week would be vegans and vegetarians, but I guess they're like, look, we're repurposing vermin. He said the feedback was so great, we decided to include it in our range. Before that, I'd always just thrown the carcasses away. He's German, so he's like, Kade, reportedly first in Germany to sell raccoon sausages, is what could prove to be an ingenious solution to the nation's worsening raccoon plague and the great sausage shortage. I don't know if they're going through that.
Well,
they never get enough sausage, I think is the point here.
Yeah.
They're like, pigs. Raccoon.
Raccoon, we can eat that. You'd think they would have done this a long time ago. I'm sure people have made raccoon sausage.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's gamey.
If
it's good with eggs.
Well, he says he produces his products include a raccoon breakfast sausage.
Okay.
A liver sausage and even a soup made from the rodent's bones. It's a little raccoon bone soup.
It's not a lot of meat on a raccoon.
Trash panda, you stuff it into its own intestines, it's pretty good. That trash panda.
You can see folding it into its own intestines. It's just
hot, like a hot mama. You rather eat hot mamas? Pickled sausages?
No. Sounds spicy. I'm not a spicy guy.
Okay. They do Big Daddies too. It's just it's not a spicy. It's vinegar. Yeah.
Raccoon sausage.
I want to try it. All right. Well, please like.
Oh yeah, we're at that part.
Comment. We're moving fast because Adam's not here.
I know.
It's a special, very special episode.
I don't have a lot of jump in there and comment.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to get through the news because I think we're going to talk about Chestertonians later.
Yeah, let's do that.
Forward to that part.
Yeah, I'll have a conversation.
Probably maybe more in the subscriber portion.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't have anything planned for it. But we'll figure it out.
Portion.
We're going to talk about some Chestertonians.
Yeah, plenty of stories. Plenty of stories.
I got more stories after this.
I've known you a long time.
Yeah, we'll just do life stories.
Yeah, life stories. Okay.
So please comment, share, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Hit the little bell.
Behind the scenes episode today.
And leave us you leave us a message, leave us a comment, and especially a review on Apple iTunes really helps. And so we'll read we pick one out each week. So first we have a episode or a YouTube comment. Ethan's voice cracks from Agent Piggy 123. He usually throws a couple of voice. Oh no, this is from this is an Apple iTunes review. He usually throws a couple of voice cracks in each show. It makes me laugh.
Oh, those manufactured?
Yeah, I throw those.
Yeah. That's clever.
It's mainly just for
real.
Piggy Wiggy 123.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Ancient Agent Piggy. Asian. No. All right. And Kay Starler said on YouTube, the talk down Return of the Trump was fantastic. So he's talking about last week's episode that very few people watched. I really liked second ending the best, though, when Ethan and Adam were jumping on the bed together with all the other XB employees, and I don't know what he's talking about. That feels like a joke that he
feels like we're doing that again right now.
What?
Yeah, because I work there too.
That's true. Yeah. Second ending. I don't get it.
Here we are again. Okay. Well, thank you, Case Starler.
If you want to throw ideas our way, we got a slideshow that you can access. If you go to the notes below this episode, click the link to the Google Doc. It's a slideshow. You just throw images, slides, ideas for news stories, whatever you can come up with for an image, you throw it on there, and we will go over it.
Which is the new format that we've really...
That's the new format we're kind of embracing.
We've only got to play with it once with Adam so far.
Yeah, going down a slideshow, basically, rather than notes. There's minimal notes.
Dude, man, so Adam's on a cruise right now.
Yeah.
And lucky buggered, man.
Another cruise.
That's so cool. The stand-up comedy life.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he's got a lot of traveling coming up over the holiday season. And you and I all day today were under the suspicion that it was going to be a normal Tuesday,
right?
And then they meet at a pub here, and Ethan sends out a text, "Hey Adam, so I'm here now. You want me to order you some food?"
Well, first like an hour ago, I sent out a text that I'm heading over to Heroes.
Headed over. Yeah.
He didn't say anything.
Yeah, which I guess is okay because if you're on a boat with limited reception,
maybe I don't know. They got
Starlink.
I don't know how it works, but
But anyways, you asked him if you should
I order you anything. He's like, I'm still on a cruise,
and we're like,
no.
Hey, what are we gonna do? So yeah, this is us.
So it was either no episode or this. So don't complain.
Yeah. There's nothing to complain about. This is us making an effort. This is
we're just having fun,
taking care of our fans and loving the people.
A large part of this podcast is selfish for me because it's just fun.
Yeah, I look forward to it. You're gonna get out.
It's something to do over the week.
Something to laugh about.
Used to get out and eat hot wings and work on notes and then get over here and hang with my buddies.
Creative outlet.
Well, I want to throw out anybody who's in the SoCal area. This isn't a big invite to hundreds of people to Matt's house, but message me. I'll do some vetting, but we're going to start an Orthodoxy, and I'm excited for jumping into this book again, because Orthodoxy we've read many times. We've read it once in this group before. I've read it twice in my previous group. Plus, I've read it on my own once. So, it's one of Chesterton's greatest works. What he's best known for. So, if you live in the SoCal area, anywhere where you could reach Chino, I think we might have one or two seats left, but I just want to put it out there.
I get more chairs
because I already got a couple people you don't know about coming. So
sweet.
But anyway,
so if you don't know, Ethan hosted this group called the Chestertonians long ago.
Yes.
And when in your Hollywood days in LA, and it was great. It was huge and it was unexpected.
Doug Staples' house.
Yeah, it grew organically.
Mike Nelson and a lot of random people. Really fun.
Once Ethan kind of got picked up by the Bee, and you were working in Kyle's garage back in the day, we met, and then kind of the Bee was growing.
Kyle kept going, we should do that Babylon Bee. We should do that GK Chesterton group like you used to do.
Yeah.
It's funny that Kyle really was the reason that we restarted.
which is
grew.
cool.
Yeah.
You know, God works
And
in
it's how we
mysterious
met
ways.
in
Yeah,
a lot of ways,
totally.
or how we became such good friends, probably.
Yeah, because cigars.
So we started
meeting at a cigar shop, doing it there.
It started out just being me, Kyle, and Dan.
Yeah,
And then your cigar shop, and you're like, "What are you guys doing?"
Yeah,
You're
hey,
like-
let me sit in there.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys like Jordan Peterson? I like that guy. He's cool. And so, but then since about a year after that, and it grew during COVID.
Yeah,
because
we
it
had
was a
some
cool
crazy
respite.
nights with like 30 people.
Yeah, and but now we meet at my place. We smoke cigars and talk GK Chesterton. So that's kind of bold, Ethan. You just did this big old invite to our SoCal.
I'm only inviting people to send us a message, introduce yourself.
Yeah, I got to get vetted.
Give me a link to your social media.
You know, and so if you don't get a message back, that only means that Ethan was inundated. And,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
the
I've already-
backyard's only so big.
I was already iffy about doing this because I've already got a couple and I don't want to overwhelm with new people. But I figured I'd put the word out.
Yeah.
Because I think there's some pretty solid people in our audience that, and also I think there's people that have thought about coming that I've talked to in the past. And I kind of want to get the word out that this is a great time to start.
It is. Yeah.
Jumping in on Orthodoxy is a
New
great
book.
place to jump in.
Yeah.
So it'll be on the 20th that we're going to start it. So I think it's info@thetalkdown.com. Is that already know?
Yes.
So yeah, get some messages to info@thetalkdown.com, or if you follow me on Twitter or something, you can DM me. I have open DMs. All right. Well, this one you're going to know a few things about.
Oh yeah, let's talk.
So Tony Hinchliffe finally spoke after everything.
Yeah.
And I
episode
forgot to
was
put a
just
link in here,
released.
Tony Hinchliffe, because I wanted to have the. Oh, did I do 2 different slides? I think I did. Oh, wait, let me see here.
So Tony Hinchcliffe apologizes to absolutely nobody for Puerto Rico joke, admits a Trump rally may have not been the best effing place to do that set. I don't know if, it depends on what the motive was to bring him in. If the whole point was to bring in the Kill Tony audience base, then he was just being himself. Now, granted, I agree with you. He was in a room full of families, and he had some pretty dirty jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you weren't accustomed to that caliber of humor, that would have been a bit of a punch in the face. I agree.
Though I think he mentioned here, I was trying to find his full statement. Let me see here. I think I got it here. So finally, his latest episode, the funny is because his episode is, 2 or 3 weeks out.
Yeah, always. Yeah. So it just got released.
It just got released, but it was the day after. And I was fascinated because you could see in his face, like,
yeah,
he was stressed.
talking.
He was very
town.
distracted and I've been in a somewhat similar position, like I said earlier, where that every time your phone is just going crazy, and you're being people are just ripping you nonstop. Strangers are tearing you apart, and you can't not look away. And like he's trying to do this show, and I think it's interesting. Like he knew he's gonna have to make this statement tonight, the day after,
yeah,
and it's gonna come out on YouTube in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yep.
And he
doesn't know what the outcome of the election. Doesn't know.
He doesn't know the
like.
outcome of the
Joe
election.
Rogan it wasn't today. I think with Theo Vaughn said there were articles already written up to blame the entire failure of Trump's election if he didn't get it on Tony Hinchcliffe.
Right.
And that all lined up. Yeah. So which is also not fair. You know. So I think he does a pretty good job when he comes out.
Yeah. So he goes. Last night I gave a speech. I don't know if you heard about this. It was a speech about free speech, believe it or not. Oh, that's right. I put it on slides. I was like, how come I can't find it?
Yeah, I got it right here, buddy.
Right in front of me.
Ta-da.
I made that. I did that. Believe it or not, about free speech. I'm currently under attack. I am the news. I reference Puerto Rico, which currently has a landfill problem in which all their landfills are filled to the brim. I'm the only person who knew about this, unfortunately. That said, I just want to say that I love Puerto Ricans. They're very smart people. He had a Puerto Rican flag in his arm. They're smart. They're street smart. They're smart enough to know when they're being used as political fodder. Right now, that is happening.
Yeah.
I apologize to absolutely nobody, he said. Not to the Puerto Ricans, not to the whites, not to the blacks, not to the Palestinians, not to the Jews, and not to my own mother, who I made fun of during that set. Nobody clipped that. No headlines about me making fun of my own mother. And he finished and said, perhaps that venue at that time wasn't the best effing place to do this set at, but in any matter, to the mainstream media and to anybody trying to slander me online, that's what I do, and that's never going to change.
Authenticity.
And I think there's wisdom to it. But I think the thing is, everybody says, because I remember they went through this with Mike Nelson with Audio Mullet. I think Mike would have said, if you're gonna get canceled, it's gonna blow over in a day or two. Don't do anything. The thing is, for him at the time, he had a company.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Tony? Yeah, he's got
Mike Nelson.
Oh, Mike Nelson. Okay, he's
this
got
is
the
just
company.
for that experience of Audio Mullet getting canceled, which is a very tiny version of what happened to Tony, but where the internet has all decided. I mean, this is when Nick Offerman stopped following me, and tons of people in Hollywood that were my friends.
They're making a statement.
They're all making a statement, and to become this thing. These three men, Ethan Nicolle, Mike Nelson, Doug Staple, are evil, and we must all. They are homophobes.
This is how a cult works, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Follow the narrative.
And so his company, Riff Tracks, got inundated. And so his partners and people that are in there, they're all going, we have to respond, we have to respond, we have to respond. If they had just not done anything, it would have actually probably blown up a lot faster, but they put out a statement and apologized, which actually most of the comments were like, oh, I didn't even know about this. They just amplified it.
Yeah, they did. And this is all the result of one episode of Audio Mullet. This topic you were talking about.
It was because of an article a guy wrote who's always had it up for Doug. And his explanation of the episode was that so what really had happened was Doug a few times had used the F word, not the FU word, the FA word.
Well, okay.
But he had used it in more like the way that if you ever watch a movie from like the late 90s, it's all the time being used. Bill and Ted.
Oh, yeah,
Bill and Ted, all the time.
You're talking about the word fabulous, right?
Yeah.
Fabulous. I'm sorry.
He's jokingly saying it. And you can see how scared I am just to say it right now because what
you're not saying it. Fantastic.
And so we had somebody write a letter to us saying, even when you're joking around, that word makes me uncomfortable. I feel like it's bad for us to say it. And so we had a conversation where we both agreed. Doug agreed, like, yeah, I shouldn't say it. I agree not to say it. And we also talked about how, like, I get the desire to kind of rebelliously say it.
Sure.
Because it's not the same as the N-word. I disagree, but it's the same. When they act like, so there's like a bit of resentment under it. But we still had this kind of conversation about it, like where, yes, out of respect, we're not trying to hurt people's feelings. That was the whole thing.
It's like early podcast days where you can have a genuine conversation and people weren't comfortable with genuine conversations.
Sure.
Because you were trying to work it out.
Well, we just wanted to, we were having an honest conversation about using that word.
That's
and then we shouldn't do it. So this guy wrote an article saying, apparently Doug says this word so much in the podcast, they actually had to get an email about and respond and defend their use of it. So his twisting of it was that we have this podcast where we just throw around the word all the time. And really it was that Doug had used it a couple of times in the same way that Sarah Silverman and other people have in past movies not long back.
Yeah.
And we had an honest conversation about it, and that was okay. Nobody went back and listened to the podcast. They just...
So Nelson puts out this statement, and the word of the wise now is just like...
So, but you gotta that's what I was trying to get at, is like, you can tell yourself, just let it blow over, but it takes balls of steel when it feels like the mob wants an answer. The mob wants you to capitulate. The power of that, it's hard to quantify. Like if you imagine every comment section, every Yelp review section of your business is just being inundated.
It happened. It happened. So George Floyd riots.
Okay.
And it was our Instagram started getting bombarded, and my staff were texting me, and it's as though the bots or this mob,
who found out
this mob online,
or who, like, why, what sparked that?
Because I didn't have a black square in the profile picture. And so where do you stand? Where do you stand on racism? Yeah, no, a mob of Instagram
but it had to start with
commenters.
Somebody's...
I don't know. No,
I trace back to who?
No. Wow. It wasn't anything the company
They were just going out
It's
to every
nothing
company
we
they could
posted.
find.
Exactly. We were being mobbed to make a statement. And so I felt pressure to do something. And so I found a really great Martin Luther King quote, put it on a cool graphic that kind of matched our color scheme, and I posted it. And guess what? They all went away. But I didn't disagree with anything Martin Luther King was saying.
Right.
But they needed me to make a statement. I'm just like, our line of business has nothing to do with any of that culture stuff.
Right.
Why
Yeah, that's crazy.
So anyways,
it does feel like the reaction after the election feels weird to me.
Is it too quiet? Because that's what Twitter says. That's what X says.
Doesn't it feel like it? It's like not as
so quiet.
Either somebody's plotting, people are plotting something.
I don't know,
or they're just tired.
Tired,
and,
for sure.
And I think there's probably a lot of people that secretly are like kind of like, you know what, wasn't so bad.
Can we move on now?
Let's let him have 4 years. You know, just let him have it.
I agree that it's quiet, but I think it's more like the culture is catching its breath.
Could be. Yeah,
you know?
I do think that by the time he enters, they're going to have this second wave.
Maybe. Well, I saw this interesting video of Antifa was rising up, I think in Seattle, and they were just a gang of bicycle police officers just bringing it down. And they had the nicest guy on the PA system. Let the police officers do their job. We want a safe working environment. We are not here to infringe your First Amendment rights. If you want to film, we encourage it. Please film. But if you do anything criminal activity, you will be arrested. And it was and he was on repeat. I was like, man, what a nice, solid, kind authority figure. I like that guy. They weren't doing that on J6, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so they put a stop to it immediately. Any criminal antics that Antifa was getting up to. But other than that, I haven't heard a word of anyone. Like,
I mean, there's been
rioting or anything.
Like I'm so YouTube, there's everybody's kind of covering like, oh, here's all the people freaking out, but they're covering like the same handful of videos.
Yeah.
There's the black girl in her car freaking out. She's kind of the big one. And there's a few people screaming, but like it's
shaving their heads. Like,
it's not giant. But it's not. I haven't seen giant. I mean, I know there's some protests going on, but they're really kind of not big. It's not like stuff you can't look away from. You know,
it's quiet. So Tony comes out on stage, and he makes a statement.
Yeah.
But he doesn't apologize.
He does it in the midst of it.
He always, after. He's in the throes.
I think that takes balls of steel. I think he's sticking to his guy and he's been through a cancellation before with the Chinese guy thing. So.
Yeah. So what I love though is when he sat down. We just lost our lights.
Sorry, we still look good. We look like Matrix.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, so we'll roll with it, eh?
Sure.
And so what I love is that when he sits down though. After he gives his not apology statement, is like he says it's good to feel it feels like home in here is what he says. And I think there's a sentiment, and that's one of the things about having a show like that and regularity. He wasn't home. He knows he's safe there, and the comedy's just going to happen, and he's himself. I wonder how he felt though at Madison Square Garden in front of a bunch of super uber MAGA fans.
I think his ego was at a certain level at the moment that he was there, and I think that this did take him down a notch, which I think is good. But yeah, I think part of the big things that fascinates me about Kill Tony is it really is a room full of people sort of like coping through humor.
Yes.
I'm fascinated by the times which at first is so jarring and shocking, when someone comes on and they talk about, like they mention in the interview, like that their dad committed suicide or something horrible, that everybody would immediately go, they would just take all the air out of the room and like, I'm so sorry. They would immediately make a joke about it.
Yeah. Coping through comedy.
And I do think there's something therapeutic where in this space, we joke. Mm-hmm. Everything is fun. Everything is a joke. We laugh.
Oh, they make fun of and they cross lines for me. I'm like, oh gosh, that's dark.
Yeah, there's something fascinating about that and I wonder, and this is a longer, deeper conversation, but it does make me wonder, like, because there is the scripture that says,
no coarse joking.
No coarse joking, and on some level, there's a format because I think that swearing, there's scripture you can kind of go to for why we shouldn't use certain words but I think that swearing is very contextual. Mm-hmm. When I'm with certain guys, swear word doesn't have it's not doing what it does in other. I talked about this one episode where I see it as a gun.
That was you
shooting guns.
Oh, that was you. Okay, because that's a great analogy.
I love that analogy.
Yeah. No, I was wondering where I heard that.
You're on a movie in a crazy situation on a movie that's not real. You're shooting. It's just not the same as like if you're using it on somebody. Yeah. You're causing damage, but if you and your buddies are shooting off your guns, it's way different. And I think there's something to that with joking as well, but I don't know. That's something I want to like kind of figure out because like where are the lines on that? Where should we draw the lines? So I'd love to talk to Grumbine about this.
That's an interesting question.
Just kidding.
No, who am I? So what's interesting is I didn't know who Kill Tony was until
Yeah, I
like a couple of months ago. I think you introduced me. And so my first episode was the one with Shane Gillis and Adam Ray.
It is very crass. It's very bad.
Oh, it's very crass. Okay, but there's an interesting story here. So I got hooked because I saw Adam Ray was impersonating Biden and Shane Gillis was impersonating Trump, and they were panelists on Kill Tony's little reality, stand-up comedy show, and it was great. 2 hours. I found it hilarious, and I started sharing it with the friends. I started sharing it with my Christian friends, and lo and behold, I found this line starting to get drawn between me, and people who are uncomfortable with the caliber of what's happening on that stage week in and week out. Right. And people suggesting, I don't see why you find that funny. And then they cite this verse about no coarse joking. Now, I agree with coping through comedy. And I know pain. And I see that the people who take that stage and the people in that audience are not unfamiliar with like trauma in their own lives, and there is a sense of coping there. And I completely forgot where I was going to go with that. But it's contextual. It comes down to person. There's some people you can have in your Christian circles you can have a drink with, and then there's some people you don't have a drink with. And right. I think this kind of falls smoke a cigar with, or people who think you're like, oh, you're going to get cancer, and they might suffer from like a judgy perspective, and that's unfortunate. But I think there's, you need to be thoroughly convinced in your own mind that which it is that the behaviors you take on. And so what's interesting about Kill Tony is like, when it comes to coarse joking in that verse, I'm not going to say those jokes. I'm not going to joke around abortion. I take that real serious. Or you might
in a certain group with certain friends, you won't do the abortion jokes, but like you might tell some crass jokes being naughty.
Yeah.
And I really don't think that's the same thing. I think it's like
and then, or even,
because I really guess it comes down to what your witness is, right?
Yeah.
So being a representative.
So the question is okay, I'm not going to say, personally, I'm not going to say those crass jokes. I think they're very crass. And I think it's just too close to home. I think it's too dark, and it's too, I don't find that matter funny. If we're going to be talking about, I'm not going to be making fun of Jesus, I take who he is seriously. But am I going to tolerate watching Kill Tony and somebody else make fun of Jesus? I'm not going to sit here and judge that guy.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to turn on.
I'll judge him. But yeah.
Well, but no, he's just not interacting, and there's something to be pitied about that. But at the same time, am I going to turn off the show? Am I going to like boycott Kill Tony because there's occasional?
I think
jokes?
I see both sides of it.
Sure, and that's why I think it's a matter of conviction.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna judge someone for not watching it.
Yeah, I totally get it.
I can relate to the coping. I get why those people have a sense of family.
There's something very fascinating going on that show to me. I think it's just because it is. I think one thing that fascinates me about it is, and I don't mean this in an insulting way, is there's a lot of mediocrity on it, but they've managed to turn it into it's lightning in a bottle kind of thing. And it's like, because I don't think I would ever be into Tony. I think that's one thing for me that fascinates me is like, I'm not really a big fan of Tony Hinchliffe as a comedian.
And that's what's fine. I
probably wouldn't watch his specials.
You and Adam professionally, he's like, I've worked with the guy.
And I think that he also, most of the comedians he picks to be golden ticket winners and regulars are people that would not be, they're not going to be the next Kevin Hart. They're not going to be the next whoever.
The system is against them. The bureaucracy, the red tape, the closed doors.
They're pure comics, but also they're another sense. They're the guys that like the comics love at the club that no one's ever going to see. Yeah. Because their career's not going to take off, but they're great. And I think that he brings. So there's something there that's going on, and just the rules of stand-up comedy are really you have to as much of anything goes as possible. But also I could see the fear of God in his eyes of that episode because. I think he said what he said. I think he's really bold and everything, but like, I think you could see, there's a tension there that like, is it going to be safe? Like, am I safe making my jokes? And he went out into the world, made his jokes at a place which maybe wasn't the best place to do them. But, is that going to seep in here? Is this place going to stay safe? I think I could feel that tension.
And hence when he said it feels like home in here.
Yeah. And hope we don't lose it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the fear, people who have a voice, who have a platform and free speech being under attack. There is something to be said for the uniparty or, the Republicans, or at least the Trump initiative of like getting rid of this woke culture attitude, this censorship attitude. The fact that Tony Hinchcliffe was there, being Tony Hinchcliffe, exercising the freedom to be Tony Hinchcliffe, I think is a necessary stance. You know, you don't have to agree with his joke. You can say whatever you want. But the fact that I wouldn't change history.
No, I wouldn't change history.
I wouldn't even agree that
that's
he should have done anything different.
Yeah, I was fine. That was one thing that made me really happy about this election was the proof that, you know, Kamala dumped gazillions of dollars into these celebrities and it didn't do anything because nobody cares anymore.
Nobody cares. It's
and
over.
there's a new age of the new kind of celebrities are online and Joe Rogan podcasts, Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
Everyone, you know, all the people in the media are going, who's this guy? We don't know who this guy is. Like, well, he sold outside of Madison Square Garden 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, exactly.
So you may not know who he is, but
there's a lot of people who
do know.
Yeah, and he's
and that is historical for a guy at the people at the top of their game are supporting the Republicans. That's a first, or for me in my lifetime. People with something to lose. Zachary Levi, that guy's like, you know, he's the lead in like huge multi-million-dollar movies, and he went out and like campaigned for Trump. Hinchcliffe, Joe Rogan.
Yep.
I mean,
Musk.
big names. Musk. Yeah.
Oh,
people are putting their names on.
Yeah, they're just like,
usually
you know,
it's like
they're
Scott
done.
Baio or something. Scott Baio. Or it's like, you know, Kevin Sorbo. You know, it's like they don't got a lot to lose.
Yeah.
In fact, they really get something to gain. Like, find an audience of just the rah far right.
Yeah. So one thing I want to say about Tony Hinchcliffe and the show Kill Tony before we end this topic is I find it fascinating that stage is a bit of a litmus test. And if you go out there with any bit of, you know, ego or you have a cocky, arrogant attitude, you will get shown for who you are.
You'll pay for it.
But if you have humble origins and you have a bit of a, you know, what's that beatitude, meekness about you, and you take it, will be celebrated, and the audience will love you, and you'll be reviewed well, and you'll get, and
I mean, it's not always that fair, but yeah, I agree most of the time.
Yeah. You think sometimes
I think there's nights where Tony's in a bad mood and he's just mean.
Okay, fair. Tony's going to be Tony, I guess. That's the lesson too.
But kind of, I mean, I saw potential segue. I saw this video, Kai Trump, who's Trump's granddaughter. She did a vlog from Mar-a-Lago on the night of the election.
I saw this.
And one moment fascinated me in there where she was talking about how proud of her grandfather she is. She really looks up to him. And she hasn't seen him in a while. He's been so busy, but he calls me just about every other day. And that to me, I don't know what relationship you have with your grandparents. Like I've never had that relationship with even my parents' parents.
No, I know. I
call every other day.
No. Yeah,
I'm fascinated that he calls his granddaughter every other day.
That's beautiful.
I mean, I don't know.
I've seen it. I mean, I see those
maybe if I had like paid people on me to remind me every day, like that I'm supposed to call somebody and they just walk with the phone.
He does that.
Who knows? Maybe
I think he's one of those types. You know,
but
like
I think
boomer type.
They love the phone, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah. Exactly.
Even that, I just think that there's something there where like I don't think you have to do that. I think that's very sweet, and you can tell she looks up to him so much. I just you really get to see the true good side of Trump because I don't think he even talks about it.
No.
But,
and I think I was able. Me personally, people were very upset about him being so bombastic in the first campaign in 2015. And the thing is, in the same way that I can see through the crassness of Kill Tony, that I can see there's a heart in there, and that's what I gravitate to. I could see that because I manage people and I work with people, and Trump's the type of guy, and I've seen it even before he hit the campaign trail, that he is the type to go and work on the bottom floor of his tower and interact with his staff, and that speaks to there's a lead by lead by serving. Yeah, he's a hard worker. He's not sitting in an ivory tower.
What did I see? I saw some interview with somebody who had worked at a building that once the Trumps bought it, they said before the Trumps bought it, whoever owned it, we had no idea who it was. Some big, they were never there. As soon as the Trumps bought it, about every 2 or 3 months, Trump would show up. He'd make sure to say hi to every single person, ask them if they felt like there's anything he should know about what's going on. And they were really impressed by how he treated the entire staff. That was cool too.
Yeah, but
I agree because I think this is turning into a talkative episode. It's good. We're talking down.
We're doing it.
Right? We're doing it.
We're talking down. Okay.
Because the thing that I've been thinking about a lot is this whole idea that Trump is so, he's so bad. Well, this is an example here. Let's go. There's a tweet here, a clip from an article from The Atlantic. This guy says, the rally crowd, ever faithful and willing to do its part, laughed as Donald Trump pretended to pleasure a piece of equipment. But for the rest of us, the laughter has to stop, and the horror of what might happen in a few days must take its place. So the drama. He did some kind of.
I
do you know
saw
what he's
that
talking
thing
about?
with the mic stand, and he was pantomiming.
I didn't see it, but
yeah, I saw it on X.
He is like fodder for people that want to take
he's
to
Hitler.
take jokes
He's
so
Hitler.
serious. So like that's the thing for me. Is I'm so sick of being called fascist and Hitler for my political views.
Yeah.
And it's so ugly and so garbage and so horrible to talk about people like that have shown no signs.
Yeah.
And
Of true fascism, where the
so
gaslighters.
I've just kind of come to the point where like I was agreeing for a long time. Like I found Trump really reprehensible and it drove me crazy. Over time, I started going, he really is like that uncle you have that maybe makes you a little uncomfortable with his joking, but he means well.
He means, yeah.
And even over time, even more, I think I've gotten to the point where I kind of like him. He's hilarious. And I don't mind. I think that at first, I think we're all being very precious about, this isn't what presidents do. This isn't how presidents should be.
He broke the mold, for sure.
He broke the mold.
Yeah.
But I think it does fall in with what's happened. Like, for instance, what Joe Rogan has done.
Correct.
He's made things more casual.
Yes.
He's broken the idea of the smooth talking legacy media pundit.
Yep.
Who's got everything scripted and ready to go and is telling you what to think. And it's more like, no, we're all humans and we got to hash stuff out and we're just talking. And we all tell dirty jokes now and then. We all kind of joke about things. And one of the ways we get through life is to joke about things and
this authenticity. And I think, there's this, the most successful Instagram influencers for the Gen Z crowd are the ones who are absolutely authentically vulnerable about their disabilities or hangups or anxiety. They get huge followers. That there is a hunger in our culture for authenticity. And so Joe Rogan allows for that. 2-3 hours unscripted conversation allows for authenticity, because any of us can judge a person by our first impressions. We can get a feel just for the first few minutes of interacting with a person of whether or not I can, if I can trust this person or if I really should be careful about this person. But that's a natural thing. And forever through legacy media and through the art of the stump speech, and I think Joe Rogan was going on about this the other day, a politician had to have their canned scripts, and everything was memorized. And so they'd go from town to town, have their rallies, and give the exact same speech.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan honestly just talked all about this, I think, with the P.O. Vaughn. But now when you take Kamala and you put like 4 panes of her exact same speech together, she looks like a lunatic.
Well, he also like times her laughs and all those things.
Oh, they're all exactly the same.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. And so now you have Trump, who granted is still using a teleprompter, and we've all heard, like when he had the acceptance speech and he started going, I was like, okay, it's late. I want to hear what he has to say. And then he totally segues into like Elon Musk landing that rocket. And I'm like, we've heard this.
We've heard this.
I heard the Musk, like, you just won the presidency. Focus. Anyways, okay, fine. We'll entertain the story again. But the thing is, from his rally standpoint, he does the weave.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of authenticity of like, he breaks
Trump. Yeah.
And
it's not perfect.
Yeah.
But I do love that he's being him rather than the inverse of what Kamala was.
She was old school, and that's just, it doesn't cut it
such
anymore.
A puppet, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to kind of bring it home, I saw this, it was on a tweet. Democrat Eric Swalwell on why Democrats lost. We're too nice and too modest. like how much meaner do you have to get than calling half the country Nazis? Like, is there, you just start.
Yeah, they're too nice.
Bombing them? I don't know where. Like, what is next?
I don't want to see the next level of your niceness.
Calling us pedophiles. Yeah. I don't know what it's going to be, because it's. I think they underestimate how mean they actually are. They feel so nice in how being so mean. They've figured out a way to hack it.
It's self-righteousness is what it
The
is.
self-righteousness.
Yeah.
Because in their mind, they're being so nice.
Yeah.
They're such
They're
nice.
convinced.
They're the party of joy and glee.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. The joy. Where's the joy?
And they're saying the nastiest things you can literally say to your fellow man. That's what they did to this whole thing. And I hope some of them realize.
I hope they wake up.
I hope.
You know?
Or not. Yeah. All right. A quick thing at the end for parents.
Yeah.
I discovered a really fun movie.
Oh, no. What is this? I see
This is
slide
called
now.
Hundreds of Beavers. Now, it sounds dirty, but it's not. It's innocent. This is a newer film. It looks like it was made in the 20s, like Chaplin era. It feels like a Chaplin era film. It's written like, it's like a silent film, Buster Keaton or something.
Just recently produced?
And it's 2024.
Where do you find it?
It's on Amazon. I think it's on Prime.
Okay.
Maybe.
So I should watch this with my kids.
So I will give you a warning that it's PG-13.
Okay.
And there's a couple suggestive jokes because they do a couple of jokes like meeting animals, humping kind of thing, which kids see dogs do at the park all the time. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And he makes there's a couple of but it's all visual gags. There's no nudity or anything in it.
Is it silent?
But it's silent.
Dialogue?
And when I first showed it to my son Calvin for the first, he's like, no way. It's terrible.
Black and white.
It's black and white and it's silent and like, but then Eliza was watching and she started laughing and he started laughing and then we watched the whole thing laugh. It's just got so many gags. It's just, and it's just this guy who's like trying to survive in the wilderness and eat. But all the animals he's trying to eat are just basically people in these mascot outfits.
Oh, that's scary.
Raccoons and bunnies.
And it's not scary? Sounds
very
terrifying.
silly. It's very, very silly.
Sounds terrifying.
It's some of those like slapstick, pure, silly humor I've seen in so long. It seemed like maybe it was a vignette where they maybe made 4 or 5 of these shorts and just put them all together for this movie.
Okay.
Because it doesn't really have one overarching plot line. It's just it's a fun laugh fest.
Oh, it's great.
So highly recommend. A good fun movie night with the kids. You get them to like just promise you that they'll sit for like 10 minutes before they turn it off.
Oh yeah.
Get through like a couple scenes and they'll catch on. It's really it's funny.
Okay. Hundreds of Beavers.
Hundreds of Beavers.
Okay.
That's my recommendation. That's a real movie review here on the Talk Down. We're changing everything.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We're no curtains,
No curtains.
And,
we're in the dark, sitting the 2 fat men in the dark.
Sitting in the dark.
Bearded men.
Wow. Yeah. No, Adam has a beard,
Yeah.
He works.
He's not here.
I know, he's not here. He's on a cruise. I wonder where he is though. He was in Greece recently.
I don't even know where his cruise is right now.
Man.
I didn't track his phone like I should.
Yeah, I know. Then we would have been in the know. I go, shoot, you're not in America.
All right. Well, I want to thank Matt McDavid for making it all happen.
Yeah, we pulled one off anyway.
I want to thank my wife for letting me do this tonight and putting the kids to bed for me. Thank Adam for not showing up.
Yeah,
and being
Adam.
on a cruise.
Yeah, you gotta, you have a career to maintain and an income, and it takes you away.
Thank the listeners. Thank you who leave reviews and all those things.
Yes,
and for picking us as a podcast to listen to among the crazy sea of podcasts that are out there.
Yeah, be sure to subscribe at thetalkdown.com, and you can check into our behind the scene talk down.
Yeah, we're going to jump into it right now. We're going to talk about
downtime.
We're going to talk about Chestertonians.
Yeah, a little bit of backstory, some stories. Don't want to miss it. Yeah, but it's very special because it's behind a paywall. And
really special.
Yeah. So,
and you get to join our Discord and have a lot of conversations.
Yeah, get some,
we need more people in there.
Yeah. So,
all right. We'll see you later.
Cheers.
Until next time.
The Talk Down is filmed in a dark room in front of a couple of fake plants. For more information or to become a subscriber, go to thetalkdown.com.